Hi viewers, Morgana Galaxia here. Thank you for visiting my channel. I really appreciate each one of your views. And I wanted to get on and do a tarot reading today because my goodness, it's been a rough couple of days. RGB passed. Very sad about that. I'm wearing black today to, in respect for her. And of course the roses because she was such a lady. So that's going to be the focus of today's tarot reading. I want to take a look at, well, let me back up just a second. We know what's happening, right? Against Ruth's dying wish, the Republicans are going to do their best to ram a nominee through the Senate for approval. They can do it before Election Day, before Biden gets elected. That's their goal. Just so frustrating, right? I mean, the woman's dying wish was to not be replaced until a new president was installed. We all know the hypocrisy of the situation, right? What McConnell did to Obama and Judge Garland. And now, it's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. So we already know what McConnell's going to do. We already know, right? Trump said he's going to throw out a nominee by the end of the week. McConnell's going to do his best to bring it to a vote on the floor before Election Day or by Election Day. And then who knows what. So we know that's going to happen. So what I want to know is, what are the Democrats' strategy for combating this? I certainly do not expect Nancy Pelosi to just sit on her butt and let this happen. I hope she's got a fire under her. I hope all the Dems have a fire under them. I'm sure they're talking, right? I'm sure they're strategizing. I'm sure they're coming up with something. There's a number of things they could do. I mean, right off the bat, impeach Trump again. There's a laundry list that you could charge him with. You could impeach Barr, get him tied up doing that. Is there, honestly, I've been wondering for a long time, is there any route to remove McConnell for treason? I mean, I'm saying play tough, but not dirty. In other words, I wouldn't say to the Democrats, pursue something that isn't right. For example, impeaching Trump. Hell yeah, he should have been impeached 5 times over, right? So that is a correct yet hard way to combat something like this Supreme Court nomination. But that's just, off the top of my head. Nancy Pelosi is a very smart woman. Plus, they must be talking to Biden and Kamala. They must be forming a strategy. I want to take a look at what that strategy is. So, let me get to shuffling some cards. What is the Democrat strategy going to be to fight McConnell and Trump? To fight McConnell and Trump on the SCOTUS nomination. We know Trump's going to nominate. We know McConnell's going to try and force it through. What's the Democratic response going to be? Can you show me the Democrats' strategy? Please, Spirit, show me the Democrat strategy. Democrat strategy. Show me. Show us. All right. Let's take a look. Okay. So, the Democratic strategy to combat Trump and McConnell's nefarious plans. So right off the bat here, at the center of the reading, we have the Hierophant, right? This is the government. This is government. So in this case, this isn't Trump to me. This is Congress, okay? So this is going to be the House and Senate, the Congress. Let's see where that goes. What is opposing them, the energy that's really challenging them with this Ten of Wands, is they're already bearing a heavy burden. They've got a lot on their plate. They've got a lot of investigations that are taking place. They've got a lot of corruption that they're trying to contend with. Their plate is full. I mean, their plate is full. 3 days ago, before RGB passed, it was already a circus, right? This was just one more problem that they really didn't need. One more battle with Trump and McConnell that they really didn't need. They're already very heavily burdened. Above the reading is the Three of Cups. So this is a celebration. I see a few things here. Number one, this is a celebration of RBG's life. Everything she did for women, for the nation. This is the good life led right here. She was such a good life. Everyone, although we're in mourning, we're also celebrating her and her good works, right? Just like we did with John Lewis. When someone who just really led that good life passes, it really just reminds everybody about the joys and the passions and the fighting for justice and just all those good feelings that it brings up in people, in honoring her and honoring the work that she did for all of us. And I think a bit in relation to that, there's going to be a lot of women who are going to step up and demand, one, that RGB's last wish be honored. This is a way we can honor her, is honoring her last wish. There's all kinds of women now in the House and Senate that want to continue the good work that she's done, and also want to make sure that whatever justice lands on the Supreme Court is worthy of being her replacement. So I think there's a lot of feminine energy, very obviously, that's going to be working to honor Ruth, her life, and to honor her with a worthy replacement on the Supreme Court. So I think that there's a lot of passion and energy there for the work that she did. And what's underlying this reading, what's foundational to it, is the Death card. So obviously we have the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which is a huge loss for the nation. But this is the end of a cycle. It's the end of a cycle. Death is transformative, right? There is no permanent death. It's transformative into something else, something of the light. There's a dawn. After, the sun sets, the sun rises again. So this is promising the end of something and the beginning of something else. But not a different something else, a transformation. There's going to be a transformation. And, obviously, there's going to be a transformation of the Supreme Court. With the Supreme Court itself, this is the end of a cycle for that court. And it's going to be transformed, and there's going to be something new there. That can happen sooner or later, though. That's going to happen. So I don't know necessarily think that addresses the question so far. we're looking at the Democratic strategy here, right? So the energy that we just passed through with the King of Wands, this is the machinations of McConnell here. These are the machinations of all those hypocritical Republican senators, especially, and House members as well, who are going to just completely not care about what they did to Obama, completely not care about all the words that came out of their mouths in, I guess it was 2016 when they were blocking Merrick Garland's nomination. They don't care. All those people sitting on their little thrones of power, our accusations of hypocrisy just bounce off. Boom, bounce off. They don't care because they're sitting in their seat of power. They will do what they want to do and what they need to do to maintain their power. So yes, this is telling us that Mitch McConnell's at work. The energy that we're going to be moving into is the Magician. The Magician. So the Magician is manifesting what you want into reality. You've got all the tools that you need to make magic happen. You know, it can be getting something out of nothing, right? You're making magic, you're manifesting, you're creating what's around you. So somebody's going to be pulling a magic trick here. And I am asking about the Democrats' strategy. You know, my first thought would be like, well, yeah, I mean, Trump and McConnell forcing a nominee through the Senate by election day, that's a miracle. I mean, if they do manage to get that done, which personally I kind of doubt, that would be a miracle. There's magic. But I'm asking about the Democratic strategy. So this is telling me that they've got everything they need to make something happen. Out of nothing. Right now, we're not seeing nothing. They're going to make something. They're going to make something happen. So, like a trick up their sleeve, but not a false trick. They've got the tools they need. I think they're going to surprise us with some magic. And this would be a near future. So, yeah, we've heard what Trump's doing. We've heard what McConnell's doing. The Dems have been pretty quiet, right? They haven't really told us yet what's happening. They're probably talking. They're making the magic happen behind closed doors right now. So the core, I should say, one of the core parts, the foundations of this reading, not a foundation, but one of the core parts here is the Queen of Swords. So this is an investigation. So, this is the Queen holding the sword of truth. These are, investigations. God, there's already so many going on with Trump already. But this is Nancy Pelosi in charge, large and in charge, with her sword of truth. So I think that we, in this sort of face of the question, is coming straight into her lap. So I think we need to wait for her to come out, and she needs to come out and kind of give us a clue into what's going on. Are they opening another investigation into Trump? Are they going to investigate somebody else? Are they going to stall it through the vetting process of the nominee? There's definitely going to be something looked at, reviewed, investigated. That's going to be one of the cores of this question. Influence of the environment with the Hermit. They're behind closed doors. They're cloistered. They're talking. They're still figuring out some strategy here. But they're internalizing right now what they're doing. So I'm talking about the Democrats here. So yes, I think that they're still in talks. They're still really going deep, really going deep. How far do they want to go? How strong a hand are they willing to play? I think the strongest, but how far are they willing to go? Are they coming up with impeachment, articles of impeachment again? Are they pulling together evidence? Are they, summarizing some investigation that's already happening? Are they going to release? They're going deep right now. Hopes and fears is the Knight of Swords. That knight, that's a fast moving knight. With the sword of truth. So yeah, the hope is they need to get this done fast. I mean, boy, Trump and McConnell are pushing this fast. Election day is right around the corner. The hope is that whatever they're doing, whatever they figure out, whatever magic they want to come up with, they need to do it swiftly. The sooner the better. The sooner the better. Yes, and this knight is definitely carrying, with this sword, that's not just news. He's carrying some truth, right? He's carrying a consequence. This is like a document or an evidence, some sort of evidence. There's truth here that this knight is quickly bringing to the front. And the outcome, the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is indicative of work. Yes, it's legacy, it's skilled work, but it's work. I'm thinking articles of impeachment. Obviously the number one, response to that is there's not enough time. Well, you know what? There's not enough time to throw a Supreme Court justice on the bench, but they're going to manage it, right? When there's a will, there's a way. If they're doing the hard, diligent work, I'd love these to be articles of impeachment, but what this is indicating is there's a multi-pronged work being done. They're not just focusing on one single avenue. There's multiple cases, multiple things, multiple situations that they're working on. So whatever does come out from the Democrats, it's going to be a multi-pronged strategy. And with these coins, this is indicating that some financial aspect of that is going to be a huge part of what's coming out, whether it's fraud, money laundering, what have you. Everything just blinked on me. Anyways, fraud, money laundering, thwarting this law or that law, results of investigations, the taxes. There's going to be some financial foundation to this work that the Democrats are doing. Okay. So, to my question, what does the Democratic strategy look like? To me, I think we have, the overall story here is we're going to have a lot of female energy that want to honor and respect Ruth Bader Ginsburg. There's definitely changes in the air. Transformation is going to be happening. There's no status quo. There's no going back to how things were. They've got some magic. They've got some magic that they're going to pull. They're going to be manifesting something in reality that is unexpected. Nancy Pelosi is going to be seated on the throne of this work, and we're going to be dealing with truths here. Truths, hard truths. Yes, they're still in talks together. They're still multi-pronged game plan here. Lots of money involved. But yes, even though they're still in talks, they need to get this done quickly. They need to hurry the hell up, because the longer they wait to make a strong show, the more the odds are that McConnell and Trump will be successful. So I guess I'll ask a little more directly, ask the cards a little more directly. Will there be a new Supreme Court justice on the bench? We'll say by the end of the year, right? By January, by the time Biden takes office. Will they be successful? Will Trump and McConnell be successful installing a new Supreme Court justice? Spirit, please show us if McConnell and Trump will be successful in installing a Supreme Court justice. Will they be successful in installing a Supreme Court justice? Will they be successful? Supreme Court justice. Okay. Very interesting. You know, the last reading I did, I ended up with all these reversed cards, and I don't normally keep my cards reversed. So I went into my deck and I straightened them all out. And look at here. I got another reversed card. So I just find that pretty interesting. Spirit has messages they want to give them. Okay, so at the foundation, or I should say the situation as it stands, what's my question? Will they be successful in forcing through a nominee? The face of this is the Hanged Man reversed. So what this is indicating is that, I don't want to be crass here, but they've been kind of waiting on RGB to pass for a while. I don't want to be insensitive, but she's been sick a lot. Was 87 years old when she passed. She'd had multiple bouts of pancreatic cancer. She was in and out of the hospital a few times this last year. And, as a party, with the president in power, they have been biding their time, biting their nails. They were kind of waiting. And now that at this late date, the lady has passed, their wait is over. They were kind of suspended, right? Biding their time, suspended, just kind of waiting, and the event occurred. Their wait is over. They're no longer in suspension. They're no longer kind of frozen in time. Now something has occurred where they can begin to move forward. So their hangman period is over, just like that. What is challenging them is justice. Justice. This is the energy that's challenging them, because what they're doing is an injustice. Betraying the woman's last wish, betraying their own arguments and cases made in 2016 against Obama, the complete hypocrisy of it. what they're trying to do, forcing a nominee through, is just beyond the pale. It's beyond the pale. This is an impeached, completely corrupt, hated president who very may well have, you know, disabilities, let's just say, to put it nicely. Their actions are just the opposite of justice. I think it's pretty, going on, but it's pretty clear. They're fighting against what's right. What they're doing is wrong, okay? What's known, sort of overarching this situation with the Eight of Wands, is the speed. At the speed that they're trying to do this. This is happening fast. Trump's throwing out nominees within a week. They want to get this in the Senate super fast, right? It's fast, 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 fast. Such a disservice to the people, right? What's foundational to this reading with the Three of Pentacles is contracts for work done. Contracts for work done. So in this situation, are they, what I'm asking, are they going to be able to force this nominee through? This is foundational. This is underlying, and this is what not be known. This is sort of indicating to me there's some contracts or maybe some almost like not quite a quid pro quo, but maybe, like how Trump's always, putting people in place who've donated to him, the money people, right? Like to join the post office. These political appointees that are just Trump people, that they're just gonna politically appoint someone, not for any ethical reason, but just because, this is a money person or a sycophant or something like that. That's what I'm getting here. I don't know who Trump's going to nominate yet, but this is telling us to look at, I think we know it's a woman, right? What is this woman, what has she done for Trump? How has she been flattering Trump? How has she been donating? How has she been feeding the beast that she can get this appointment? Trump doesn't appoint anybody because of their qualifications. He doesn't appoint people because they're skilled or ethical, right? He appoints them because they rubbed his back and now he's going to rub theirs. So this is telling us to look at that. Yes. And another thing, is in one of the books about Trump, they were talking about how, as we all know, the Trump administration is just putting tons of justices on the bench just across the board. But some of those key justices, he didn't necessarily pick out himself. Don McGahn, who was his White House lawyer at the time, was able to feed him a lot of nominees, right? I suspect something like that's probably going to go on here too. So I'm also looking at who are some of the other people who are telling Trump who to pick. There's some ties there. There's work that's been done, contracts have been made, some ties there between this nominee and either Trump or whoever's helping Trump make these selections. Okay. The energy that we've just come through, recent past, is the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups. So, right, I'm thinking about the 9 justices on the bench. The Nine of Cups. So this is the wish card. And yes, they had their wish come true. Well, that's not the right way to say it. They've had a long waited for opportunity finally arise now that this vacancy has occurred on the seat, right? So that sort of wish has come true. But I'm still getting pulled to the Supreme Court here. These 9 of Cups, these are those 9 justices sitting on the bench. Obviously, it's 8 now. might have to come back and take a look at that. But this I'm just seeing is SCOTUS right here. And the energy that they're moving into is the Five of Pentacles, which is loss, severe loss, poverty. And yes, this move that they're doing, right, trying to force this nominee through, is an act of ethical poverty. You know, it shows the poverty of respect they have for the American people. It shows the poverty of upstandingness of them own selves. You know, they're such hypocrites, right? They're going back on their own thing. So this action that they're taking impoverishes their own souls, their own beings, their own body as a group of people. So this is an impoverished act they're doing. But you know, this balance between abundance and poverty on both sides of this. We're going from a sense of abundance and wealth to a sense of poverty. So let me let that sink in for a minute there. So looking at if they're going to be successful at this, what is sort of the internal face of this is the Empress. So with the Empress, you know, the mind always goes right to Russia. And I'm wondering, so initially, you know, the Empress she's a card of an abundance. You know, she's pregnant, birthing something new. That is certainly the case with trying to force a new nominee through the Senate to the Supreme Court. You know, they're trying to birth something here. They're trying to create something here. They're trying to have an abundance of conservative justices on the Supreme Court, right? So yes, this is true. But at the same time, I'm just going to say this is casting a shadow of Russia over this situation. You know, I just feel like a lot of these senators are just corrupted by Russia themselves previously, which is why they are able to be controlled and support Trump through all his Russia shenanigans. I think, in other words, that yes, Trump is corrupted by Russia, but he wasn't the start of it. He was just the epitome of it. There's other things going on. We know that Mitch McConnell has some ties. We know Lindsey Graham has some ties. Grassley was having some ties. There's some behind the scenes strings going on there. How that would work with SCOTUS, I mean, it could be, you know, Republican strategy. Hey, here's how to screw over your nation. You know, Vladimir knows how to do that. But I'm guessing it's more subtle. But I think I'm going to settle, though, with the main concept of the card, which is that they are trying to bear some fruit here. They're trying to create something. So influence of the environment here, the outside influence, is the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles speaks to flush money, luxury, the wealthy. The wealthy. So these are the high money donors. These are the super wealthy. This is the 1%. They're having an influence on this situation. So they're going to be, you know, throwing funds at this. But that's going to happen on both sides. Well, yeah, because look what happened. What happened after RGB passed, right? The Democrats, it's just been a couple days, and they're up to like $160 million that came to them as a result of this whole situation. Yeah, this is the Democrats kind of getting into that windfall, that financial windfall for everyone who wants to help those Democrats fight this travesty. Hopes, the hopes of this situation with the Six of Cups is, this is nostalgia for better times. This is looking back to the past and how things were. So I think, the Republicans have so corrupted this judicial process, what they did with Obama, and now reversing themselves now. That whole system is corrupt. How they're pushing through these nominees is just a travesty, right? I mean, look what happened with Kavanaugh. People are sick of it, and want to return to the good old days when corruption was not a part of this process, when candidates were chosen, ethical candidates were chosen due to their qualifications and due to their talents, and of course the perspectives they took on cases, and their case history. And for example, Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself, when she went through the vote, she got, I believe it was 97%. It was 97-3. I guess people, not percent. 97-3 voted in favor for her. So that was a nonpartisan vote. We want to go back to that. Can we just do this process on the up and up? Get good people nominated, put them through an appropriate process where everyone is confident and happy and approves the nominee. So, we're looking, normally you can't go back to how things were, but this is the hope that we can put some integrity back into this process. And as the outcome, we have the Page of Cups. So this is giving us a bit of good news. This page is coming forward with this cups, with some news that's going to make us all feel good, feel happy. It's not a king. It's not anything huge, but good news. Oh, the card went flinging. So are the Republicans going to be successful in installing a SCOTUS nominee on the bench? Gosh, I'm going to say no. Now, let me bring it down. I'll summarize my story that the cards are telling me here. I'm leaning no because we're moving from a solid, respectable bench, and I'm going to say this is pre-Kavanaugh, okay? People generally have a really high esteem for the Supreme Court of the United States. Since Trump and Kavanaugh, and now this thing with Ginsburg, they've moved into energy of just poverty. And I'm going to say this, I always think of this as a church that they're walking in front of. So it's this poverty of ethics, a poverty of morals, a poverty of behavior, of respect for themselves and for the American people, And they're looking to create something here. But this is the money that the Democrats got. This is that windfall. This is going to help them. Overcome this. And this desire to get back to a place of integrity, a place of a fair process like we used to have in the past before Trump. This is a strong desire for all of us So I'm going to say this news is good news in that they're the kind of thing I would see a person like this informing us is there is a delay, there's a holdup, there's a block. Something is going to happen. Something is going to happen to impede this process. I would say though that being a page, it's not a block that can't be overcome. So I'm going to say this is not definitive. I'm going to lean a no. I'm going to lean that they won't be successful here. But the cards, are not absolutely definitive here. So I'm going to read on this again in the very near future because there's not a lot of time, right? This is all happening so fast. That's part of why it's so wrong. All right. Let's see. I think I've got time. I have time. Okay, let me do one more quick question. One of the ways that this could most easily come to a stop is if 4 Republicans say, no, I don't want to vote on a nominee, either before Election Day or even after, right? All it takes is 4 Republicans, and we've got 2 of them already. Murkowski and who's that other lady? Shoot, I know her name too. I'm sorry, it's slipping my brain, but the 2 Republican women have already come out and said no, they're not going to vote. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't point out that both of these women voted for Kavanaugh, and both are suffering politically. And I can't help but feel like this is just their little effort to sort of make amends with some of their voters. Probably a little bit too little too late. But the point is, 2 of them are down. We need 2 more. I was really disappointed to hear that Romney would not be the 3rd. Disappointed, not hugely surprised. Disappointed, not hugely surprised. So we need 2 more Republicans who will come out and say no. There's so many reasons to say no. Number 1, I'd like to honor Ruth Bader Ginsburg's last wish. Reason number 2, I don't want to be a hypocrite, and since we didn't allow Obama to choose to put forth a nominee during his last year in office, maybe we shouldn't do it during Trump's last 50 days. People don't want to be a hypocrite. There's got to at least be 2 that recognize that Trump is an impeached, corrupt, failed president, and that is not the kind of president that should put a justice on the bench. So, just want to do a little short one here. Will 4 Republicans in the Senate say no? We've got 2. Will we get 2 more? Let's see. Just do a sort of abbreviated spread here. Oh. Will and another 2, total of 4 Republicans come out and just say no? So in the center of this reading is the Ace of Swords. This is the sword of truth. And essentially, this is a yes card. So right off the bat, I'm going to say the answer is yes. But again, we're looking at the truth of the matter. What is in the sky overriding this question is the moon, which are illusions, some deceit, some shadows going on, right? This is in the dark of night. We don't see clearly. This is the shadow self, lies in delusion to self and others. So this, I think, is speaking to the fact that, you know, what's overriding this question is there's a lot of stuff happening in the dark, a lot of shadow, a lot of secrecy. We don't quite know what's going on. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what's true. At the base, though, as foundational to this question, the Ace of Pentacles is a new start in business with finances, money, new opportunities, new jobs, new beginnings, new starts. So, you know, if some of these people want to hold on to their office, if they want a new term, a new start, this is foundational to them. And okay, so in the past, they're walking away. So they've had some successes, they've got some things lined up, but they're leaving, they're walking away. And what may come to pass, or what will come to pass, is the sun. So clarity, the light shining on the darkness. So to me, this indicates, yes, we will get another 2, total of 4 Republicans who will say no, they don't want to vote. This is indicating yes. Even though we don't have a clear view of what's going on here, there's a veil of illusion that we don't quite see. What's underlying this is they want a new start. They want a new beginning. You know, they want to walk away from this president and all the shenanigans and look at all these problems that he brought them. They want to just walk away from it. They want this new beginning and move into the light of the sun, move into clarity, honesty, truth, and enlightenment. So the overall reading of this short spread here is indicating to me that there's a really strong chance that 2 more Republicans will come out and do the right thing, say no, they don't want to vote, and you know what? That'll just quash the whole thing. This is going to be the easiest, quickest way to end this whole issue, is just 2 more Republicans, 2 more, to come out and say no, this is not right. It's not right. Again, they want to walk away from this president. They want to walk away from these problems, this corruption, these lies. I mean, what have you, right? Into the sun. Into the sun. So, well, I think that's a good note, and I'm going to end it there. Thank you again for watching my video and visiting my channel. And you take care out there, okay? Stay safe and have a great week. I'll be back with you soon.